Good morning. I'm Charles Osgood, and this is Sunday Morning, a special edition in honor of this season of weddings, summer. We're devoting our show to the topic of love, heart and soul. Not that the course of true love ever did run smooth. There can be disappointment and heartbreak along the way, and sometimes a second chance. Love's Lost and Found will be our cover story, reported by Tracy Smith.
I don't want this to be too painful, but do you remember that conversation where you said, I want to end this?
Fairly well, yes, because she cried, and she cried, and she cried some more.
30 years after breaking her heart, Donna Hanover's ex-boyfriend came back. And like a lot of couples in their shoes, the old spark was still there.
That brain circuitry is lying there, really like a sleeping cat, and it can be awakened at any moment.
I was interested in making a future with someone from your past. Ahead this Sunday morning.
The love singer-songwriter John Legend has for his wife is literally for the record, as Rita Braver will be showing us.
So what happens when you dedicate a chart-topping love song to the woman you love?
Does your wife cut you any slack because you wrote that song for her?
No. Whatever credits I've built up with that song have long been exhausted.
Later, John Legend on his love songs and his Oscar-winning civil rights anthem.
If diamonds truly are a girl's best friend, then plenty of women would like to be best friends with the jewelers Jane Pauley will be telling us about.
When it comes to adorning the world's most glamorous women, who does it better than Cartier?
Beautiful women do look beautiful in beautiful jewels, don't they? That's right.
Yes, we
That's
do.
why they've always chosen jewelers like Cartier to express themselves.
Ahead on Sunday morning, Cartier,
Yes,
the
we
fabled
do.
French jeweler.
Forever Yours are no idle words for the couple that hired a very special photographer to capture their very special day.
Hey, how long are you supposed to cook shoes? There's thousands of wedding photographers out there, and I try to do everything a little bit differently than them, and hopefully my clients see that. Your shoes are done. I'm just kidding.
Ahead, Forever Yours. Seth Doan looks at young people looking for love in China. Susan Spencer asks if heartbreak is hazardous to your health.
Sure it is.
Faith Saley has a tale of kiss and tell. We'll have those stories and more. But first, let's go to the newsroom for the Sunday morning headlines.
Good morning. It's July 26, 2015. I'm Maurice Dubois. President Obama is being received like a long-lost son in Kenya. This morning, he spoke to a packed stadium in Nairobi.
I am proud to be the first American president to come to Kenya. And of course, I'm the first Kenyan American to be president of the United States.
Yesterday, the president urged African nations not to discriminate against gays and lesbians. Today, Mr. Obama travels to Ethiopia later on. A spokesperson for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign says the former Secretary of State will testify before Congress about the deadly 2012 attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya. The announcement comes after government investigators disclosed that they had found classified information on the private email account Mrs. Clinton used while she was at the State Department. Clinton insists she did not knowingly send or receive any classified information on the accounts. A new wildfire in California has sparked evacuations northeast of Sacramento. In Montana, a fire that's closed parts of Glacier National Park has grown to 5 square miles. In sports, the Chicago Cubs' never-ending saga of misery carried on yesterday after Cole Hamels of the Philadelphia Phillies struck out 13 on his way to a no-hit win at Wrigley Field. The last time the Cubs went hitless was way back in 1965. The last time they won the World Series, way back in 1908. As for today's weather, watch out for lightning and thunder rolling through the plains, showers in the northeast and northwest, hot and muggy conditions in the south. The week ahead starts out sunny and warm for much of the country and then turns stormy. Expect rain in the southwest.
Next, love lost.
So you gave up New York for love.
She did.
I did.
And found. And later, a gem of a story.
Isn't it romantic? Music in the night, a dream that can't be heard.
There are a lot of great ways to get around Richmond. But to find the mode of transportation you want at the price you want, head to HaleyAuto.com.
Haley has it.
Yes, we do.
We work weekends here because it works for our patients. Here at Cancer Treatment Centers of America in Philadelphia, we give our patients the freedom to make appointments that fit their schedules, even on weekends. Because we believe in being here when our patients need us, so they can keep living their busy lives. Weekend appointments are now available here. Learn more at cancercenter.com/Eastern.
I'm Dr. Michael Mann. I'm a cardiologist and the Chief Medical Officer of Chippenham Johnson Witness. The American Red Cross is the sole provider of blood products to our hospitals in Richmond and the surrounding area. The average transfusion requires about 3 pints of blood, but a trauma victim can use up to 10 times that many. The American Red Cross needs 400 donations a day to meet the needs of our patients. You can help by hosting a blood drive at your church, school, or place of work.
This week, drive home with one of these great deals from Patrick Buick GMC.
This week, Patrick Buick GMC has hot offers for the summer with the 2015 Buick Verano, now with over $4,000 off. Take over $6,000 off the 2015 Buick Regal. And if you're looking for a 2015 Buick LaCrosse, Patrick Buick GMC will take off over $7,000. We have the area's best selection with over 300 Buick and GMCs available.
And remember, nobody beats a Patrick Buick.
Do you remember what we did last night? Then baby, let's do it again. Say it again. It's perfect.
We're here at Haley Buick GMC Midlothian, where you can test out the new OnStar 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot in the new GMC Terrain. That's Haley Buick GMC on the corner of Moorfield and Midlothian.
Haley has it.
Yes, we do.
'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson wrote. But what about love that's been lost and then found again? Our cover story is reported now by Tracy Smith.
It seemed that Donna Hanover was unlucky in love.
Today's turn of events brings me great sadness. I had hoped to keep this marriage together.
In 2001, her marriage to New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani went down in flames. And that wasn't her first broken heart. In the 1960s, her high school boyfriend, Ed Oster, dumped her in their freshman year at Stanford. But in the summer of 2002, as she was still smarting from her divorce, Oster gave her a call out of the blue.
Told me he was divorced, was going to be in town for some business. Would I have coffee with him? So we took a long walk in Central Park, and he said to me, "I'm so sorry I made you cry all those years ago." And I was stunned because, you know, you stop waiting for an apology after 3-4 months.
Still, there were plenty of butterflies, and a year later, wedding bells.
Will you ever let her go again?
Never. This is my lost treasure. My lost treasure found, never to be lost again.
It's a great story, but it's not really all that unusual.
Like that, you can do that.
According to a study by a Cal
Y'all
State
the
University
only ones
professor,
that can do
former
that.
sweethearts who meet up later in life and are single have a better than 70% chance of getting back together for good. Rutgers anthropologist Helen Fisher.
What is it about lost love that is so powerful?
Well, first of all, you never forget the person. And if the timing is right and they come back, you can trigger that brain circuitry for romantic love almost instantly and be back in love again.
And there's no expiration date. Actress Carol Channing fell in love with a boy in middle school before she moved away for a life on the stage. 70 years later, she found Harry Collegian again, fell immediately back in love, and married him at age 82. He passed away in 2011.
Do these young loves imprint themselves on our brain?
I do think they do. That imprinting becomes powerful. Suddenly, that's the body type that you really like. And so you will look for that in other people.
So that if that person comes back into your life decades later, whoa.
Trigger that brain circuitry and you're off to the races, even at first sight.
In other words, the person you've been looking for could be as close as your high school yearbook. Diana Biederman was a 15-year-old sophomore in Old Tappan, New Jersey, when she first laid eyes on senior Vinnie DeLongis back in 1979.
I just remember seeing him and just sort of melting.
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 They dated, and after a few steamy weeks, Vinnie moved on. He wound up in North Carolina, a businessman with a wife and 2 kids. Diana became a high-powered New York publicist for places like the 21 Club. But her love life was one heartbreak after another.
I never married. I had great friends. I had a great career.
So had you decided, okay, I'm cool, I'm single, this is how it's going to be?
That's the way it is. You know, I adopted a cat.
But by 2013, Vinnie was divorced. And after 30 years apart, he went looking for his lost love, the way a lot of people do now, on the internet.
You made the initial connection, Vinnie.
Did. She actually responded in about 2 hours.
They agreed to meet for a weekend. It went well. So well that after decades of being alone, Diana finally allowed herself to get her hopes up.
But when we got to the airport, when our little weekend was up, I became this emotional mess. I could not stop crying because I had had so much disappointment in my previous relationships. I thought, you know, maybe I should just appreciate this for the weekend it was and don't plan on hearing from him again.
You couldn't dare to let yourself think
No,
that...
because what if he wasn't going to call me? Everybody was trying to comfort me. They're like, what's the matter? What's the matter? I'm like, I just had the best date.
Last February, Diana and Vinnie celebrated their first wedding anniversary.
This is what's left. I love you. Try bite.
Stupid. That year-old wedding cake never tasted so good. Love, it seems, really can be sweeter the second time around.
That's what my man said in this song, second time
Coming up,
around.
the science of sex.
If one is looking for pornography, one is going to have a long look.
You excited about the wedding?
On August 7th,
Mom, you're here.
comes a story of a mother and a daughter.
We're gonna get you out of this outfit. VH1 Classics. I'm not gonna take fashion advice from you.
Trying to find common ground.
I'm scared. She's all grown up now.
Those same kids whose diapers she changed.
Academy Award winner Meryl Streep.
Don't run away. Walk on.
Ricky and the Flash.
Sometimes a girl just needs her mother.
Rated PG-13, August 7th.
Does your makeup remover take it all off? Every kiss-proof, cry-proof, stay-proof look? Neutrogena Makeup Remover does. It erases 99% of your most stubborn makeup with one towelette. Need any more proof than that? Neutrogena.
The taste of light and fit Greek non-fat yogurt gives you the power to help make temptation shrink away. With irresistible flavors, never have 80 calories tasted so satisfying. Light and fit Greek. Taste the power of satisfaction.
You think you've already found your ideal hotel? Well, before you book, check on Trivago to see whether you can book it somewhere else for an even better price. Hotel? Trivago.
I am not a vegetarian. Would I need choppers like these?
Does it look like I'm stocking plants?
Iams never adds gluten. Iams adds 50% more animal protein.
I'm an Iams cat. Feed me what I'm born to eat.
Iams, nutrition for life.
Meow.
Johnson investigated all those questions about sex people were afraid to ask.
you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
They went ahead and told
To leave a callback number, press 5.
How has the demand been running?
Wonderful.
Ooh, Stacy, this is Miss Teddy, darling.
When TV
Call
was
me when
black
you
and
wake
white,
up. I
and
don't like their
attitudes
voice
towards sex
message.
were
That's
too.
insulting.
Their book,
Obviously.
Human Sexual
I can't get
Response,
to the phone right
detonated
now.
rather than just a
Give me a call, baby.
Masters and
Love
Johnson's
you.
work
I would
was
change that voice
sprung
message. That's
onto
kind
the
of
world
offensive,
in
like
April of
snapping somebody's
1966
head off.
to
Love you,
great deal of
girl.
shock.
Call me.
Dr. Robert
I'm going to be in my
Kalani worked
garden
with Masters
working.
and Johnson
I got
for
my
30
phone
years.
with me.
The fact that
Thank you.
a physician and his
So you can let me
assistant
know
at
what
that
time we want to
had
go to
been
lunch and stuff
doing
like that.
laboratory studies
Thanks
of
a lot.
people actually having sex was eye-opening.
They seem so tame. Dr.
If
Bill
you're
Masters
satisfied with the
and
message,
Virginia
press
Johnson
1. To listen to your message, press 2.
down
To erase and re-record, press
The boy's
3.
looking
To
for
continue
pornography.
recording where you left off.
I'm just going to have a long look.
Message
There's
review.
nothing of a very exciting nature in this book.
Oh, but there was. And to their own story as well.
Masters and Johnson dealt with virtually every aspect of human sexuality.
Thomas Mayer wrote a biography of Masters and Johnson.
Instead of the male being the more powerful of the sexes, what they were clinically showing was that women actually had a greater capacity for sex. They found that older people can enjoy sex.
Mayer's book inspired Masters of Sex on CBS own Showtime, which shows in pretty steamy detail how exactly gynecologist Masters began his research in 1954.
If you're satisfied with the
Observing
message, press 1.
prostitutes.
To listen to your message, press 2. To
Their
erase and
studies were conducted in
send your message with
absolute
normal delivery,
secrecy
press
at
1.
Washington
To send your
University
message
in
with
St.
urgent
Louis.
delivery,
If I can make the camera small enough, it will allow
Thank
the
you.
viewer
Your
to
message has
actually
been sent.
witness it in real time.
To discover what happened to a woman during sex. Soon after he hired Johnson, a divorced mother of 2 without a college degree, Masters pressured her to have sex with him.
2 of us should undertake the research ourselves.
As part of their work.
She said that she really didn't want to have sex with him, but she didn't want to lose this job.
In today's terms, that would be...
Yes, definitely would be considered sexual harassment.
But in 1970, Masters divorced his wife of 29 years and almost immediately married Johnson. By then, their names had long been linked professionally. Masters and Johnson, like Procter & Gamble, a brand.
So you would argue that Virginia Johnson deserved the equal billing she got in Masters
absolutely.
and Johnson, even though she didn't have a college degree.
Absolutely. Her signal contribution, to my mind, is that she played a very key role in designing the approach to sex therapy that they took.
Then the prevailing success rate for treating sexual problems may be 15%. They reported an astonishing 80%. The best part, the treatment
Sexual
only
problem.
took 2 weeks.
They taught couples how to touch one another again, literally how to communicate physically, where it had broken down.
Playboy's Hugh Hefner helped bankroll their work. As the national dialogue about sex became more candid, they informed the conversation.
That was my man.
You have just done what Masters and Johnson would call a premature ovation.
The laughter was good-natured until the publication of their book on homosexuality in 1979.
I assume you consider it a key finding, which some people are surprised at, and some people seemingly are disagreeing with already, that you can convert people who want to be converted from homosexuality to heterosexuality.
Actually, this is true.
Masters was ridiculed, his conversion results questioned.
Do you, in your heart of hearts, believe that at some level, Dr. Bill Masters exaggerated,
Yes,
fabricated?
At the least exaggerated.
And then came the bombshell. The couple who taught other couples about sex was getting a divorce. In 1992, after 21 years of marriage, Masters left Johnson for another woman.
Regardless of the tragic way their love story ends, fundamentally,
Their story is about bringing medicine and science into discussion of sexuality.
Masters died in 2001, Johnson in 2013. Their once famous names practically forgotten. These are the names we know now.
Premarin vaginal cream treats vaginal changes due to menopause.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Ahead, pucker up.
This portion of Sunday Morning is sponsored by Audi. Challenge all givens.
Just stay calm and move as quietly as possible. No sudden movements.
Google search, Bodega Beach House.
What if getting ready was this easy? Now teeth whitening is with the Colgate Optic White Toothbrush Plus Whitening Pen. Just brush, whiten, and go. No waiting, no rinsing. It deeply whitens for whiter teeth in 2 days. Optic White Toothbrush Plus Whitening Pen. Brush, whiten, go.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
Venice, Norway, Santorini. What began on the great rivers now reaches across the seas. Immersive journeys for the explorer in all of us. Sail to ports of legend on a ship designed for discovery and delight. An intimate vessel with all-inclusive value. The essence of what an ocean voyage should be. Viking Ocean Cruises.
Pucker up is what lovers do before indulging in a kiss. It is also part of the curriculum in a classroom our Faith Seeley has visited.
Welcome to class. And no, these students are not kissing up for extra credit. This is a kissing school.
The goodbye kiss, think about it. You may never see this person again. This may be your last kiss.
Couples come to holistic therapist Cherie Bird in Seattle, Washington for help putting some heat back in their relationships. And for Bird, it all starts and ends with the humble kiss.
Kissing is about intimacy. Sex can be about a whole lot of other things. There are lots of different ways of being with people, and if you really want to be intimate, then kissing is a pathway for that. So I would highly recommend it as a primary engagement.
According to scientists, saying a couple has chemistry isn't a cliche.
At the moment of a kiss, there's a very complicated exchange of information involving tactile cues and postural adjustments and odors and even the exchange of saliva.
Gordon Gallup Jr. is an evolutionary psychologist at the State University of New York at Albany.
There may be hardwired, evolved mechanisms operating at an unconscious level that process these cues and make a determination about whether that's a good genetic match.
Whether we're aware of it, a kiss can be a litmus test, or litmus test, for finding a mate.
Kissing is so efficient.
Kissing is very efficient.
From an evolutionary point of view.
Indeed it is.
I guess Betty Everett had it right when she said it's in his kiss, right? That song?
Absolutely, it's in his kiss. And it's in her kiss as well.
Gallup has surveyed thousands of college students, and he's found that a kiss on a first date can be the kiss of death.
What we discovered was that the vast majority of males and females, on one or more occasions, have found themselves attracted to someone, only to discover if they kissed them for the first time that they're no longer interested.
Oh, I know that feeling.
I know that feeling as well.
What interests experts about kissing is its seeming universality. It's estimated over 90% of human cultures around the world kiss as part of their courtship. The first example of a kiss and tell comes to us from ancient India.
Our first literary evidence for kissing dates back about 3,500 years.
Cheryl Kirschenbaum wrote the book on the science of kissing.
So we know people have been kissing as we'd recognize it for quite some time. But when we look at other species, when we look at bonobos or chimpanzees or other animals that do press their lips together, we get a sense that humans aren't alone in this kind of behavior. We've probably been kissing in some way for as long as we've been on Earth.
Although we almost all kiss, men and women do seem to kiss differently.
Males attempt to, more often than females, engage in open-mouth kissing with tongue contact. Open-mouth kissing with tongue contact is 3 times more likely to eventuate in sex than closed-mouth kissing. Saliva contains trace amounts of testosterone. This may raise testosterone levels on the part of the female and therefore make her more receptive to sexual activity.
Another reason to swap spit?
There's an exchange of bacteria between the participants. As much as 80 million bacteria are exchanged between the 2 parties.
Catching someone's cooties can be a boon to your immune system. So it turns out that the kiss may be one of human history's most enduring love stories and mysteries. Because, as scientists tell us, we still have a lot to learn about why a kiss isn't just a kiss. Still, Gallup has one piece of advice for the lovelorn.
Well, I'm tempted to say if you kiss enough frogs, you'll eventually find a prince.
And is this true scientifically?
I think it is.
Ahead, all that glitters.
Pets are the best friends to have by your side when you want to get out and explore the paths less traveled. Before fleas and ticks join in the action, PetSmart can help protect your pet from infestations with a variety of flea and tick products. We make it easy to treat your pet monthly and all year round, and to kill fleas and ticks, which may carry diseases. Right now, save up to $15 on select flea and tick products. PetSmart, inspired by pets.
Odds are you've used it this week. Wikipedia, the facts behind the world's online encyclopedia.
Oh, I think that the growth could be infinite, yeah.
Tonight on 60 Minutes.
We're no threat to them.
They call it the mother cell. It would spread all over the world from animal to animal like wildfire.
See you, new CBS Tuesday.
As the song says, diamonds are a girl's best friend. And to become best friends, women of means go straight to the jeweler that's the star of a recent museum show. Jane Pauley gives us a tour.
I'm in the mood for love.
The Denver Art Museum called its Cartier exhibition brilliant. Amidst the diamonds and emeralds and sapphires,
Love sapphires.
Mark Henderson had his own brilliant idea.
When we first found out about the exhibit, I was thinking, this is perfect.
Perfect because Henderson was looking for the spot to pop the question to his girlfriend, Annie Seprich.
Annie told me that I got really serious.
He did. Just got very solemn, and I have to ask you a question. Okay, that's fine.
So I asked Annie, I was down on one knee at the time. I said, Annie, I want to spend the rest of 2015 with the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. And then she said, yes, yes, yes.
The happy couple made it official in front of a panther bracelet and brooch once owned by Wallis Simpson, the Duchess of Windsor, whose own love story scandalized and captivated the world when King Edward VIII abdicated the throne to marry her.
I have found it impossible to carry the heavy burden of responsibility and to discharge my duties as king as I would wish to do without the help and support of the woman I love.
Simpson, according to curator Margaret Young Sanchez, aspired to be the most fashionable woman in the world.
What was her particular signature? She really liked strong colors and very sculptural, bold jewelry. It wasn't subtle, but it also was not overpowering or tasteless in any way.
The Duchess achieved her goal with one-of-a-kind pieces like this flamingo brooch and a necklace of amethyst, turquoise, and gold, designed in collaboration with Cartier.
What is the fascination that brings people pouring into your art museum to see these jewels? The jewelry is extravagant and gorgeous and incredibly meticulously made, so you're dazzled by both the beauty and then the intricacy.
Cartier has been dazzling customers since 1847, catering to European aristocrats and royalty, like King Ferdinand of Romania. He asked the Parisian jeweler to fashion a pendant out of this 478-carat sapphire for his wife, Queen Marie.
He gave this to his wife not just because he loved her and he wanted to give her some jewelry, but because she had actually lost all of her jewelry during the Russian Revolution.
In 1917, the third generation, Pierre, Louis, and Jacques, made Cartier more than a royal household name.
They were the ones who had the ambition and the vision to say, we don't want to be one of many jewelry houses in Paris. We want to be the preeminent jewelry house in the world.
And the name became nearly as famous in the 20th century as the glamorous women who wore Cartier. Princess Grace of Monaco, Hollywood royalty, Elizabeth Taylor.
She had a lifelong love of jewelry, and some of it was given to her by people she loved, and then other things she purchased for herself.
Mexican movie star Maria Felix commissioned a 178-carat diamond snake necklace. And these gold, emerald, and diamond crocodiles.
According to the story, she actually brought a little baby crocodile into the Cartier store and said, I'd like you to make me a crocodile out of gold. And so this is the design that they came up with. Those are really accurate versions of little crocodiles.
Even Maharajas adorn themselves with jewels from Cartier. But as the saying goes, diamonds are a girl's best friend.
At the end of the day, it's a love affair between the woman and her jewels. Well, I would say that that's true, and of course sometimes it's the jewelry that endures when the love does not. Indeed.
You have to look inside and figure out what you think is fun and exciting.
You got questions?
Have a three-way.
Yeah. He's got answers.
Dudes are dumb.
Next.
Academy Award winner Marcia Gay Harden. Code Black, CBS this fall.
I'm Jack Moore. Since Subaru of Richmond became the only dealer in Virginia with CompCheck pricing, as of this message, over 2,500 new and used buyers have come to Subaru of Richmond from all over Virginia. Williamsburg or Charlottesville, Northern Virginia to the Carolina border.
When we created the Silverado Rally Edition, we figured, why stop there? These 4 new Silverado Special Editions are just the beginning. From the fastest growing full-size pickup brand of 2015, Chevy's Silverado. Or choose the Silverado All-Star with a total value of $8,000 when you finance through select lenders. And find your bonus tag and get $2,000 cash allowance on select Silverado crew cabs in stock.
At Merchants, it's the final week to buy 3 tires and get 1 free instantly when you get them installed, featuring select in-stock Cooper tires. You're going places this summer. Merchants Tire and Auto Service Centers.
Yes, only Subaru of Richmond has comp check pricing, where we check the competition every day to make sure you get a price as low as it can go every day, every time, all the time.
New 2015 Forester from $22,195 at Moore's Subaru of Richmond, West Broad.
Canella and O'Neill, justice for the injured.
Dear Dan is how you might address a question to one of America's cutting-edge advice columnists. Erin Moriarty of 48 Hours has paid him a visit.
Sex is supposed to have a purpose. It's supposed to say something. It's supposed to say, I love you.
For nearly 50 years,
A great many teenagers don't think anything of going all the way anymore.
she was the grande dame of advice columnists.
I know of what is going on in people's lives.
Ann Landers.
We will need 4 volunteers from the audience who want lap dances.
But times change. Today, the lost and the lovelorn
You have to look inside and figure out what you think is fun and exciting.
are turning for advice
Have a 3-way.
to this straight-talking gay man.
Dudes are dumb. And sometimes the dumb is genuine and sometimes the dumb is strategic.
This is my office. This is where the tragic happens.
His name is Dan Savage, and at his office in Seattle, he gets inspiration from Ann Landers' desk.
This is my prized possession.
Your prized possession.
Yes.
He bought it at auction just months after her death in 2002.
Do you think when you're responding to some of these questions, Ann Landers is probably turning over in her grave?
No, I don't, because I think we're very much, we're very similar in our approaches. You know, she was a kicky Midwestern gal, and I'm a kicky Midwestern gal too.
Next question. I'm a 25-year-old female. I started feeling attracted to girls in college. 1 year ago, I started feeling attracted to men again and lost interest in women. What is going on? I think the operative word there was college.
He does live shows and podcasts.
I'm wondering about open relationships.
As well as a weekly newspaper column he's been writing for almost 25 years. It's syndicated in more than 40 papers. Thousands seek his advice. And one of his busiest days is not Valentine's, but the day after.
It was the letters on February 15th that drove me crazy, because people would write me and say, you know, we went out to dinner, we did this, we did that, we came home and he fell right asleep, or we fell right asleep and we didn't make love. Therefore, obviously, there's a real problem in our relationship.
Which led him to one piece of advice.
Don't go out to dinner and then go home to have sex. Have sex, then go out to dinner. And you're much less likely to be writing me a tear-stained email, not that that's possible, on February 15th.
Savage grew up in Chicago, the third of 4 children in a strict Catholic family, and was inspired by his own mother.
I was the gay, sort of mama's boy at home kid, and I would be there within earshot while the ladies were all pouring out their marital problems, and my mother was giving them advice.
The Bible. We'll just talk about the Bible for a second.
Savage isn't afraid to court controversy.
We can learn to ignore the bull in the Bible.
He's enraged many conservatives with his public disdain of the Bible's treatment of homosexuality. And he inflames others with his views on cheating.
You think adultery's okay?
No.
Yes.
I think there are times and circumstances under which adultery is okay. And cheating may be the more loving thing to do.
When one half of a couple loses interest in sex, Savage insists cheating is preferable to divorce, especially for couples with children.
The standard advice to the partner who would still like to be having sex is, oh, you have to divorce that person. You have to traumatize your children. That's the right thing to do. I look at that situation and think, between divorce and cheating, when you're not really cheating your partner out of anything that your partner wants or values, your partner doesn't want sex with you. I think cheating is the least worst option.
Isn't, though, monogamy the ideal?
Yes, disastrously so. It is the ideal.
Why do you say disastrously so? I mean, isn't that what we should all want to go for?
That's what we're all told we should want, and we all fall short. Not all of us. My problem with monogamy is we're told that if we're in love, we won't want to sleep with anybody else.
The truth is, if we're in love and we make a monogamous commitment, that means we will refrain from sleeping with other people. We still want to sleep with other people.
He describes his own long relationship and 10-year marriage to Terry Miller as monogamish.
There needed to be a word in between monogamous and non-monogamous. And so monogamish, I thought, kind of nailed it. It was closer to our reality, our lived experience, which we were much more monogamous than not. We were mostly monogamous. We were monogamish.
They have an adopted son, DJ, who's now 17. Does your son read your column?
I mean, would you read
your dad's sex advice column?
Maybe times haven't really changed that much at all.
The focus that people have constantly on what they're not getting in their relationship blinds them to what they are getting in their relationship. It's good and bad. You have to take both.
Like Ann Landers, Dan Savage.
And I'm always telling people, do this.
Just wants to mend broken hearts. You sound like you really enjoy this, Dan.
I do. I love it. It's a great gig.